What's going on, guys? CGG Matt back. We're here to talk about NBA free agency and all the NBA news that's happened within the last about week. Haven't really talked about the NBA much since Game 7 happened in the NBA Finals. We're here to talk about some other things like extensions and one specific guy that I have to give my Charlemagne the God, I tip my hat to him, Donkey of the Day to. Let's get into that. I'm just going to come right out of the gate swinging. Malik Beasley, you're an idiot. Dumbass is the simplest way I could put it. Federal investigation for gambling. This is now the third one, I believe. I think there's one more that I'm missing, but I remember Jontay Porter, I remember Terry Rozier, and now we're obviously talking about Malik Beasley. If you don't know, Malik Beasley is now being investigated federally for gambling on basketball games, and I believe there was NFL games in there too. He's being investigated for gambling, similar to Jontay Porter, similar to Rozier, and like I said, I think there's one more that I'm forgetting, but I can't remember it right now. Either way, he just threw away $42 million. The Pistons were ready to work out, I believe it was a 3-year, $42 million deal with him per underdog, and now he's probably not even going to get that. Yeah, per Shams, he had 3 years, $42 million lined up to re-sign with the Detroit Pistons, the place where he just had an absolute breakout season, maybe the best of his career, where he turned into a Six-Man of the Year candidate with them. And how does he repay them? He gets into gambling trouble with the federal fucking government, and now he probably will not be a part of their team next season. I don't even know what happens now. This is kind of wild. Again, you saw what happened with Jontay Porter. He's out of the league for good. Terry Rozier, I don't even know what happened to that investigation. That one kind of swept under the rug, and Terry kept playing. This one, I'm not sure where that's going to end. I mean, per Shams, betting on NBA games and prop bets. NBA games. How stupid are you? It's the federal government, essentially. You're dealing with the U.S. District Attorney's Office, and you're thinking you're going to get past them. I'm not trying. Again, you make enough money. Come on, let's be honest. Now, I'm not going to just sit here and blame Bees, however, though. We do have to sling some mud in the other direction. ESPN. They'll have your own gambling app at this point. There's 50 gambling apps you can download right now onto your phone. Underdog, Prize Picks, FanDuel, DraftKings, ESPN Bet, MGM. Sorry, I got something in my throat. There's about 1 million gambling apps you can go to, and I don't know. They're advertised all over the place. They're made to see. It's normalized in the general public now. Gambling is fully normalized in the general public. Whether you dislike that, like that, whatever. That's your business. I'll let you have that opinion. Me personally, I just don't like to see advertisements for it, and I definitely do not like seeing the NBA accept, embrace, and push their own gambling. It's stupid, and it leads to stuff like this, because the more you push gambling and the more you say, like, you know, glorify it almost in a sense, yeah, you're gonna fish out some, albeit dumb, NBA players into gambling too. Yeah, this is one of the wilder ones that I've seen in a little while. Oh, it was prop bets during the 23-24 season. So it was not during this season. It was the season before. I think that when he was in Milwaukee. Either way, it didn't get past the freaking government, dog. I don't know what else to say. I really don't. And he might get suspended for the season if they find out that it was him placing the prop bets. He's cooked if that's the case. I have nothing else to say on the matter. Malik Beasley, you're an idiot for gambling to begin with. You make millions of dollars on your contract. Go to the casino and play roulette. Don't do daily fantasy sports and fucking prop bets. You're better than that. And on ESPN side, y'all got to be better to stop pushing. They're never going to listen to us. Let's be real. ESPN is probably raking in millions right now off ESPN Bet. Right, so they're never going to listen to us. MGM is probably kicking up, and some other place are probably kicking up money to them a little bit. So nobody's ever going to listen to us, ESPN, the NBA, whatever. It's never going to stop. Gambling's become so mainstream at this point that it's not going to stop. I bet your favorite content creator probably has a deal with FanDuel, DraftKings, one of the 8. You know, it's just, if you're an NBA player, stay the hell away from FanDuel. He just pissed $42 million down the drain, all because he wanted to take, I don't know, De'Aaron Fox assists. Come on now, be serious. Y'all got to be better than that as NBA players. On to the next topic. Some extensions have come in. Naz Reid, 5 years, $125. That's a great deal, in my opinion. If you say it's an overpay, I'm just going to go right out and say it. You don't watch basketball, gang. I don't know what else to say. He just had a great season, and in the playoffs, you saw his value. When Rudy Gobert couldn't play in some series, he had some great games. Rudy Gobert had some great games. But when Rudy wasn't playing well, when he was dropping every pass and fumbling passes like Rudy Gobert does, when he's not rebounding as dominant as he usually does, Naz Reid came in and more than soaked up. Basically took the minutes from Rudy and ran with them. He was fantastic in the playoffs right up until the conference final. He can attack bigs who come out to close out on him because he's faster than most bigs. He's more agile than most bigs. He shoots the three ball very well from range too. He has range on his threes. Naz Reid is one of the best big men in basketball, especially if you consider off the bench. If you say bench bigs, he's probably the best bench big. He is the best bench big in basketball, right? He has guard-like skills and a 7-foot body. What he does is incredible. I was a big fan of the Jelly fam growing up, so I've been familiar with him for a while now. I'm a big Naz Reid guy. The work he's put in his career, he lost a bunch of weight coming out of college, worked on his three-point shot. You know, he's so good. He deserves that deal. And in my opinion, if you say $25 million a year for maybe the best six man in basketball is an overpay, you haven't been watching. Jalen Williams got an extension, not J-Dub. J. Will got an extension. It's nothing that serious. I believe it's only $32 million. But this is the way that the Oklahoma City Thunder have worked in recent years. They're kind of buying out the last years of your rookie contract and just extending you off rip. They did it with, I believe, not Isaiah Joe, because they didn't have the draft rights to Isaiah Joe. They did it with Aaron Wiggins, and now they're doing it with Jalen Williams, where it's like, we'll void the last 2 years of your rookie scale deal, and we'll just give you a 4-year extension so that way we can avoid this whole player our team option and stuff like that. It's a fun way of doing business, honestly. It's very baseball-like. I don't know if you guys pay attention to baseball. There might be some crossover here. You see the standings board behind me. Subscribe if you like baseball content. But it's very baseball-like in the sense, like, the Atlanta Braves do this all the time, where they'll call a guy up, and if he impresses in his first, year at the big league level, they're just like, screw it, give him the extension, void the arbitration years, let's dodge the arbitration and just give him a deal. It's very Atlanta Braves-like. It's smart in a sense, and it also leaves J. Will on a movable deal. Like, it's not a high dollar amount that nobody's going to take. Somebody will buy on J. Will if they say they're going to move him. He's a pretty decent player after all. He had a triple-double, first triple-double since whenever. I forget what that stat was. That was pretty cool, though. LeBron opted into his $52.5 million. People thought he was going to take a pay cut. Buddy, you don't know LeBron if you think he's going to take a pay cut, big guy. He's about 41 years old. He could take a pay cut. He's a freaking billionaire, basically. Who the hell cares? Just take the money and go. People are big mad over him just taking that money. I'm going to be honest. I don't care how many millions I got. If you ask me if I wanted 52.5 more, sign in my name. I think the Lakers still have enough money to be able to get a center, and especially since there's another guy, Dorian Finney-Smith, just declined his $15 million, which I don't get that one. We could talk about that one in a minute. But I believe they have enough money to open up to get a center now. Luke Cornett, get ready to learn, I don't know, what's popular in LA. I don't know. Ready to learn In-N-Out Burger. I don't know. Yeah, they need a center. They're probably going to bring in a center. Andre Drummond's not hitting free agency, I believe, so they still do need a center. That's like the glaring hole in the roster. But I think with Dorian Finney-Smith declining his $15 million option, there's some room there. I don't get why DFS declined the $15 million. Now, you could, call me crazy, whatever. He probably wants more long-term commitment. But if I'm being honest, $15 million, I don't know if he'd be getting that in a year right now, especially with this new CBA, which is absolutely screwing guys over in free agency, but that's another topic. I imagine it is just because he wants something more long-term. But again, I don't know what the market is for a Dorian Finney-Smith at this time and place. He's a pretty good player, don't get me wrong. He had a pretty good year. He's one of Luka's good friends, so that's why I'm surprised he declined to begin with. I figured he'd just want to be in LA. He just wants to be a Laker, hang out with Luka, because Luka said he missed DFS, and apparently DFS was like big in talking to Luka to come to LA, blah, blah, blah. So it's interesting he declined the $15 million. Maybe they got something in the works. Maybe he's the one taking the pay cut. Yeah, that'd be something else. The multi-millionaire LeBron James, no pay cut. Dorian Finney-Smith, pay cut. Sam Merrill got an extension. I was about to call him Jackson Merrill. Once again, baseball reference. But Sam Merrill got an extension. Good shooter off the bench for the Cavs, much needed. They realized they were going to lose Ty Jerome, but they had to lock in some other guys, so they locked in Sam Merrill, which is a good choice. And they brought in another backup point guard. We'll get to that in a minute. Sam Merrill had a really good year shooting a three ball, as per usual. You get a guy that, I'm just gonna come out and say it. As a white guy, I can say this, right? You bring in a white guy, they better be a good shooter, right? Sam Merrill, Sam Hauser, the Sams. You better, if your name's Sam, you got to shoot. Sam Jones could shoot. Sam Perkins. This is a funny, different tangent, but I met an old guy the other day who played basketball in high school against Sam Perkins. Showed me pictures of him guarding Sam Perkins. He's like, yep, he gave me 45. Yeah, that same old guy also told me Dr. J and George Gervin took too many jump shots, and that's why they never won anything. Weird old guy. Either way, back to NBA news. Davion Mitchell got an extension. He played his ass off in Miami, so he definitely deserves that. Ace Bailey, we could touch on that one real quick. That's on my list. A lot of people probably wanted me to do something about the draft, talk about the draft, but honest to God, I usually have a list of draft guys. Going into the draft this year, I didn't really have any that I liked. I had a couple. I mean, you have players that you like. Like, I was a big Malwatch guy. Who else was I really big on? I was big on Kalkbrenner. There was a bunch of guys that I really liked in this draft. But none of that I really was like, that's my guy. Last year, I had a list. I'll go over my draft list from last year. My draft guys from last year: Day'Ron Holmes, popped his Achilles, didn't even get a chance to play. Modest Bazelis, who had a great year. Stephon Castle had a great year. Jared McCain was on my draft guys list. He ended up being a Rookie of the Year favorite until he got hurt. Tristan DeSilva played good minutes with the Magic, and I think if he could shoot the three ball, Tristan DeSilva was going to have a fantastic place in this league. And Ryan Dunn, who damn near ended up being the Suns' savior. So last year, I think all my guys ended up doing relatively well. This year, I just didn't make one. But back to Ace Bailey, I'm kind of happy the Jazz just picked him. I am. I'm just going to come around and say it. I'm happy the Jazz just drafted him anyways. Because as much as I do like angling and trying to get your guy in the right place, Davion or Ace Bailey's agent just telling people I want nothing to do with like 8 teams is definitely a newer strategy that's coming because of NIL. And NIL is a very hot topic right now, but in my opinion, I think it does good for the players. The players deserve to make profit off of the fact that it's their name, it's their value, bringing asses to seats. But also, this can be the downside of NIL is you're going to have a lot of players picking and choosing where they want to go and basically saying, hey, I'm a millionaire now. You're not going to bitch me. You know, some owner's not going to tell me, you know, come in here and you're going to work anyways. I'm going to try and control my own destiny. I like it, but I don't at the same time, because then you get situations like Ace Bailey where his agent, if you've seen those videos of that agent, Sharif Cooper's dad. Oh boy, Sharif Cooper did big things in his NBA career. But if you look at it, you know, he tried to force his way to a place where Ace Bailey was going to be the guy. He said no to Philly, and I completely understand that. Joel Embiid, Paul George, Jared McCain, Tyrese Maxey, they got guys. He wouldn't be getting the ball very much. I understand that. Saying no to Utah is just stupid to me. You are the guy. I know it's a small market, you know. Utah's not the biggest place in the world to play. It's not New York, it's not Miami, it's not LA, it's not Boston, it's not Texas either. It's none of the big places to play. But have you seen what some guys have done to turn up these small market teams? Indiana isn't small market because Hoosiers are big, and Indiana's been a big basketball state before. But look at what Tyrese Halliburton's done for Indiana. He's turned the place up. Look at what Anthony Edwards has done for Minnesota. He's turned that place up. When he was healthy, Zion had the Pelicans, you know, New Orleans is in the big market, but Zion had the Pelicans turned up for a little bit whenever he's healthy, right? Ace Bailey can do that in Utah. If he's the player that he's supposed to be, he will be turning up Utah. Utah will love to have a guy like him. And again, he wants to be the guy. I don't see anyone in Utah even close to the talent level of Ace Bailey except Lauri Markkanen, who isn't the guy. We know that. You know, nobody on the Jazz team is the future. Collier's there. He's okay. Cody Williams, I forget he's an NBA player some days, genuinely. They have a couple of young guards, and, you know, Flip is good. He got some second half burn and looked all right. But I don't think they have a guy. Ace Bailey, if you come in and you're that guy that you've been advertised as all draft process, and like we saw, high school, college, guess what? You're going to be the guy. And you're going to get all the marketing in Utah. You're going to be like God to them if you dominate for 2 seasons. Look at how much they showed out for Donovan Mitchell and Rudy Gobert. Imagine an Ace Bailey level star if he becomes, you know, the star that he's supposed to be. I just think it's stupid to have an attitude with Utah, of all places. I get it. Utah isn't the most turnt place in the world. You know, again, it's not New York. It's not LA. But if you want an opportunity, you got sent to a place where you are going to get fucking ample opportunity. I don't get the bitching. I only want to go to a few more minutes. We could talk about the Bulls real quick. They traded Lonzo Ball for Isaac Okoro straight up. I don't know what the fuck the Bulls are doing. Arturas Karnišovas and that entirety of their front office. I don't know, man. They aren't breathing through their nose, out through their mouth. I don't even know how they breathe. I don't know. They have to probably manually breathe. It's the dumbest front office in basketball, maybe, bar none. And I know this has been said before, but if you erase Michael Jordan from Chicago Bulls history, they might be the worst team in NBA history. Not even close. They're awful built every year. They turn Lonzo, Levine, DeRozan, and all them guys into 0 first-round picks. They're trading second-round picks for cash. Why? They have a decent core. It's there. Giddey, White, Buzelis, Patrick Williams is there. I like Dalen Terry more than Pat Williams. And in the draft, who they draft, Queen or whatever. I don't hate it, but I do hate the fact that they are essentially netting nothing with these trades. Isaac Okoro is not a bad basketball player by any means, but Isaac Okoro is very up and down inconsistent, especially when it comes to shooting. And also, I just don't think he's quite Lonzo Ball. Lonzo Ball, I know he can't stay healthy. Isaac Okoro had injury issues last year too. But I don't know. This is such a bad trade for the Bulls. But that's something I've become accustomed to saying over the last 10, 15 years. It's a bad trade for the Bulls once again. Embarrassing front office as per usual. Reinsdorf is selling the White Sox now. Be curious to see if he ever moves on from the Bulls, but hey, I doubt it. And lastly, I want to touch on my team. Jason Tatum said he was having trouble in rehab the other day. He said his shit sucks. So I'm repping my guy's jersey today. You know, get well soon, Jason. You know, the GOAT. But Jrue Holiday trade, Porzingis trade. Honestly, I didn't talk about either one of them. I didn't talk about the Porzingis one because I think I was out at the time. But the Jrue Holiday trade for Anthony Simons, I guess cool. Like, it sheds a lot of money. Anthony Simons is on a movable deal. He also doesn't have many years left. I think he's only got 1 year left, and then he's going to need an extension. Whether it gets extended or not, I really doubt it by Boston. But I don't know. At least he got something back for Jrue Holiday. It's really hard to get any value back for these guys when you have no leverage. Everyone in the league, top to bottom, every front office knows if Boston calls, they're desperate to get rid of their guys because they want to lower that cap number. They have no leverage. Right off the rip of negotiations, they have no leverage. That's a tough spot. You get nothing for Porzingis effectively. You got George Niang. I hope they greet George Niang by dropping the Jumbotron on him. I'm such a George Niang hater. It's not even funny. I don't like the trade. I kind of hope we just cut him, release him, trade him, do something. I don't want to see him in green. He's a Bostonian. I don't care. I'm from New York. I don't give a damn if he's from Mass or not. All right? I don't give a damn if he grew up a Celtics fan. He lost my respect the moment he pulled Jaylen Brown's knee after that corner three. That was one of the lamest examples I could. Lame. So lame. And he's done that countless times. Tried to punk players, and he's just I don't know. He's a role player that talks a lot of smack. He'll give you 4 points, and it'll be the loudest 4 of the game because you'll talk about it all night. I pray to God George Niang isn't on my roster to start the year. Please, Brad. Please. Bradley Kent Stevens, get off your ass and trade George Niang. Please. I don't want to see him in Boston. I don't. It's not my favorite. Anthony Simons, welcome Inferno. I think he's a really good player. He's only on a 1 year deal, so it's not like we're even really long-term committed to him. But yeah, the Celtics are in this sell-off, and I wonder what happens next. Our assistant GM, Zimmer, I think his name is, basically said that, yeah, I don't know where those reports came from that we're looking into trading White or Brown. Those are false. So them coming out and saying that's false definitely kind of puts an end to those trade talks. So I doubt White or Brown gets moved. I'm disappointed by the Celtics drafting. Yeah, they got, what's his name, out of freaking France or wherever the hell. What the hell's his name? Hugo Gonzalez. I don't know. He kind of sounds like another Yam Madar, if you remember Yam Madar from a couple of years ago, Celtics draft picks. I was a big Yam Madar guy. He's probably fighting in a war somewhere now. I don't know. The Celtics are in a weird spot. Futures, I don't know where it's at. I don't know. AJ Debanza, whatever his name is, going to BYU. Get ready to learn clam chowder, buddy. If you enjoyed this NBA update video, you should like and subscribe. Pretty simple stuff. We're trying to get to 100 subs around here, so why the hell not? I'm going to go catch a game. See you guys in the next one. Thanks for joining.